Joining me to talk more about China's role with the DPRK nuclear crisis is Teng Jianqun. He's the director for the Center of Arms Control at the China Institute of International Studies. Let's start there. What role do you see China playing in resolving this situation with the DPRK?
Of course, China has played a very important role in recent 20 years for the solution of the DPRK nuclear issue. But in recent years, we have witnessed some fundamental changes both from DPRK and from China itself. For example, China, adjusted a little bit its priority. China has at least three principles in dealing with the DPRK nuclear issue. The first is denuclearization, and the second is peace and stability in the peninsula, and the third is dialogue. I think China used to put the peace and stability on the top agenda, but now China puts the denuclearization on top of that. This is a fundamental change for the Chinese policy toward DPRK and toward the Korean Peninsula. I think this means that the Chinese government prefers to have more normal relations with all the countries in this region, not abnormal. China tries to maintain a balanced relation with the DPRK and ROK.
It's interesting you brought up dialogue too, and the Foreign Minister Wang Yi is definitely doing dialogue in a big way, talking to his counterparts in Seoul and the United States. Talk to us a little bit about his efforts from a diplomatic standpoint.
Actually, we are now facing completely new feature of the nuclear issue in the peninsula. For example, after the fourth nuclear test, I'm sure everyone knows this is not a challenge. This is actually a direct and a real threat to the region and to the relevant countries. So I think China's position is still there. China prefers to have a peaceful solution to this issue. And Foreign Minister Wang Yi contacted his counterparts in ROK in the United States and other countries. I think this is actually a continuation of China's effort in finding peaceful solution to prevent any escalation of the crisis into a war or something like that. That will be disaster for the region. So China will continue its effort in this regard to find a real peaceful solution to the nuclear issue in DPRK, though even it's not so easy.
You talked about preventing escalation, also peaceful solutions. It's interesting. China's got something going on in its own backyard, and yet the Chinese Vice Foreign Minister, Zhang Ming, also involved in shuttle diplomacy, traveling to Saudi Arabia and Iran in an effort to help ease tensions in that part of the world as well. So if you can, talk to me about the larger footprint China is leaving now when it comes to global diplomacy.
Yeah, this is actually a new feature of China's new diplomacy, especially in recent 3 years. We have witnessed the great changes in China's diplomacy. For example, China used to give a very negative response to any action or activities related to China's national security. But this time, China actually has proposed several initiatives to shape the environment surrounding China and also in other parts of the world. This is actually complete change, in my opinion, actually, from responding policy to shaping policy, just to show the activity of China's, participation in the international affairs. And of course, Middle East is one of the most important part of the world. And China, though, has been very cautious in this area. But I'm sure in recent days, we have invited, different groups and different governments to China to talk about the peaceful solution in that region. I'm sure China's role will be very important in that area.
Mr. Teng, thank you so much for joining us from Beijing.